Hello and welcome to today's session. We are looking at the DAX. I've got a couple of things to show you today actually that might be of interest, because what we know is that the DAX is on a different time schedule in terms of the open compared to the London Open. So just be aware of that. The London session tends to be more of a draw card when it comes to the DAX. When the time zones have shifted, so there's an hour difference, often the open time at the German stock index market has a bit of an issue, I guess, getting going. So it's a little bit slower. It doesn't have quite as much power in it. So just be aware of that, and make sure you're taking into consideration when you're planning your trades out. There probably won't be as much volatility. There won't be as many, big moves and rejections off the right levels and that kind of thing for another, I think it's about a week and a bit. So just bear with me, hang in there. And at the moment, we actually have hit a certain high point in the market on Friday, and we've seen a bit of a bounce. Biggest tip I can probably give is follow Trump on Twitter. On Friday, I believe he tweeted something, and then basically the market fell apart. So just keep an eye on Trump's Twitter, because when he speaks, people listen and the whole market reacts, and particularly when it's about the tariffs and that kind of thing. And if you can just follow what he says, this year so far, it's obviously proving quite lucrative. So that's probably the biggest thing to watch, bigger than probably watching even Bloomberg and things like that. If there's a big natural disaster, you're probably going to hear about it, but follow Trump's Twitter. This is probably the best thing you can do when it comes to global markets. We've got the pivot points laid out, as you can see over to the left. We've got MT5, that's the pivot points I use every day. If you do want those, I do have access to them. And they get updated each day on your platform. It's just a script, you drag and drop it onto your chart, and then you can see the levels on your own platform for the German, the UK, the ASX, the Nikkei, and the US market, the US 30. What we'll be looking for today is, I think, we might be ready to see a spike up. If we start to decline, obviously the markets may be continuing a sell-off. So fairly stock standard response there. But in terms of trading, what we'll be looking for is rejections off these levels as usual. I'll show you what happened last on Friday. So we came up, we touched the breakout long, or not quite. We came within a few points, and when was that? That was sort of 45 minutes into the session. So it took a while to kind of get anywhere, and then from that point, that was outside the Bollinger Bands, and we just fell apart for the rest of the day. So really good short, had you have gotten in and seen perhaps the order flow take effect at that kind of area. Look, we've got two and a half minutes to open. I'm not sure on the direction today as such, but we'll be looking at around these pivot points for rejections using the order flow as usual. So this is Tradovate using the Eurex level 2 data to build an order flow chart, and that basically plots each bid and ask order that goes through the centralized futures exchange, telling me who's buying and selling. We kind of have to decipher that, but basically we can see exactly who is the bidder and ask side orders. So we can see here 4 bid side orders, 4 ask side orders. 2 of these ask sides could have been 2 aggressive buyers and 2 passive sellers, so limit orders. So just be aware that it's not always buying or selling just because it's bid and ask. There can be buyers and sellers on each side of that order ticket, I guess. So it's important to note. Now, levels themselves aren't really displaying too much. Look, if we come down and close this gap, that could be on the cards. There's a chance we might spike at the open into one of these levels, but unfortunately the volatility is not always there. So we may not see a reaction, guys. Unfortunately, we've got another sort of week or two before London kicks back in at the same time. And every year I find this period in particular quite challenging to trade because of that lost volatility. We need the market to move in order to take advantage of movements. I'll quickly do, so we've got 40 seconds. So on the monthly, we hit all-time highs this month. We've kind of rejected back into the regular zone. So that's last week's candle. We came right up and back down. So it'll be interesting to see if we do reject and continue lower, or if we continue heading up towards the yearly R3. On the daily, we've got 20 seconds till open. Just a quick look, see where we're at. We're in the middle of the, up towards the higher end of the bands. 4 hour, nothing much there. 1 hour, very centralized, so very kind of normal trading conditions aside from the time when the London exchange opens and London takes hold. So we'll be looking out, the market's open now, be looking out for, I guess, potential sells. Here we go. So the market's kind of selling off, but by the time we break this low structure and head towards this close gap, the risk reward for me isn't really there. Somebody might sort of take it just on the basis of the pricing layout, and that is an obvious target. It was bearish last week, and perhaps that will continue. But for me, I really do like to ensure that my risk reward ratio is in check. And based on, I guess, the layout at present, I'm not really seeing the value there. I've got 13 contracts there. That might be a bit more selling coming in. But on the flip side, it could be a bid side limit order, meaning people are buying. But I am sort of hoping that people are kind of pushing down the market, will fill this gap, and then continue about trade. So last week, I think we filled the gap multiple times. So we kind of opened around this area, drifted down towards the close gap before London came in which case the market a lot of the time was bullish. So that's how we got to all-time highs once again on the DAX. Once again, very slow activity. So I'm not going to hang around and watch this session. Look, to be fair, probably nothing major is going to happen at the open until London kicks back in and the daylight savings is here. So I'll just quickly check what time we're expecting that to. So London daylight savings change. I'm just going to Google it. So October 26th. So we've got another 13 days until the market kicks back in. So that's on a Sunday. It'll be the last week of October when both markets are opening at the same time and we get that volatility back. So a bit of an issue over the next couple of weeks. There's just not the volatility there to actually make decisions based on what I look for. So for now, nothing much, guys, unfortunately, but it's a small period of the entire year. It's sort of 2 or 3 weeks where the DAX is a bit sort of boring to trade. I'll leave it with you guys, but best of luck with your trading. If you haven't already, go and check out the new video I launched. It's ChatGPT, building an MT5 EA, or expert advisor. Takes you through all the processes and prompts, as well as creating a deep thought prompt that makes the ChatGPT take a bit longer. It sort of processes all of the information and thinks about what it's actually doing. So if you're running into errors constantly, that prompt could be a massive game changer for a lot of you. And it's a really good way to sort of overcome persistent errors in the meta editor. Anyway, guys, check it out. It is on the channel. It's sort of the main video up the top. So yeah, let me know what you think, and best of luck with your trading today. Goodbye.